Hi, I'm James from RV Sales Australia in Melbourne, and this is our Mercedes-Benz Sprinter Regal Grand Tourer featuring the electric bed. This particular Sprinter is a 419, meaning it has the high output motor. So Mercedes has two different variants. If the number ends in a 7, it's the low output motor, which has 170 horsepower. If the number on the back door finishes in a 9, being exactly like this one, a 419, the high output motor is fitted. Now, the high output motor features 190 horsepower, 450 Newton meters worth of torque, and 140 kilowatts. One of the Mercedes options that's fitted to this particular camper van is the electric sliding door. So I've got the key in my hand at the moment, and I've just pressed the button on the key fob, and now our electric sliding door is open. You don't need to order the camper van with this, but it is a pretty cool feature. It makes it much more simplistic to get in and out of, and there's a couple of different ways you can close it and open it with the button here. Obviously your handle, and then there's another button in the center of the console, which when we go into the camper, I'll show you a little bit later on. In the entry is an electric slide out step. There's a little night light there in the corner. There's even a little storage area here where you can put your sandals or something that you want to access easily when you're outside. And then if you wish to close the door, you can just press down the button pretty simply and it'll slide back in. There's a couple of speakers on the exterior of the camper van. There's one there below the vent. Behind that vent is a microwave, which I'll show you when we go inside. There's another speaker over here in the far corner of the camper van, and a external box which houses our lithium batteries. So this particular camper van's got two 200 amp hour lithiums fitted, and there's even an isolation switch over there. So 400 amp hour worth of lithium fitted to this particular camper van as standard. Just to the left of the external box that features the lithium batteries is a 10 amp outlet, so 10 amp power point. There's an antenna point here on the left. In the center, there's a 12 volt cigarette socket. And then there's a USB-A and USB-C port just to the right of that. For the windows throughout the camper van, we utilize an aluminium framed, dual glazed window that has a slight tint to it as well. They're a more compact and slick looking window. As you can see, they don't protrude too far out from the body of the camper van, so it gives it a nicer look. There's one there on the right, another one here on the left on the main door, and just above is the Fiamma awning. So this is a manual awning. You can go and option up our camper vans with the electric variant of this, but as standard, we usually just do the manual. Over here above that second window at the rear is an awning light. So there's an awning light just below your awning on the right hand side. For our 2025 range, we've standardized a few things like the 400 amp hour worth of lithium, which I just showed you. And we've also standardized the Grey Anderson plug, which is fitted over here. Now that'll allow us to go and plug in a additional solar panel, and you'll be able to go and charge those lithium batteries with a third panel in combination with the two that are on the roof. On the rear doors, these two large windows have been tinted. At the top of both doors is a camera from Mercedes. So the one in the center is the Mercedes-Benz camera, and then the camera on the right-hand side is one that we go and install, and we link it up in the cabin at the front, and there's a monitor actually clipped on over the rear vision mirror of the Sprinter. So we'll go and have a look at it later on. The Grand Tourer decals at the back, which run along the whole side as well. The camper van comes with these 180-degree doors, so they're fully opened at the moment, and that reveals our electric bed. So the electric bed, we've made some changes to it this year. We've started incorporating the roof paneling onto the base of the bed, which will make a little bit more sense when I go inside and show you the roof of the camper. At the rear over here, there's two fans. So this particular camper van has the black pack, all of the map reading lights, power points, fans, even your handles on all the doors have gone to black. Below the left-hand side seating is the DC to DC charger for the camper van. So this is linked up to the vehicle, and when the vehicle is on, the charge will be sent into the DC to DC charger and then in turn charge the lithium batteries that are just beyond this wall over here. It also has an MPPT built into it. So we can go and link up the two solar panels on the roof that are 170 watts each. So there's 340 watts worth of solar fitted to the roof of the camper van. And while the motor is not on, you'll be getting some amperage coming into the solar controller element of things, which at the moment we can see it's a 1.8 or 1.7 amp, and charging those lithium batteries. There's a battery protector just to the left of it, and there's a fuse box up here, so everything's all accessible and you can check your fuses independently. Below the right couch is a wheel chock for the van. There's also the rods and support arm for the awning, and then there's a large Truma ducted diesel heater and hot water unit combination. So that's the combi, and it's obviously powered by the fuel supply from the vehicle. So that diesel heater and hot water unit is linked up to the fuel tank of the camper van, and as long as you got diesel in the tank, you'll be able to utilize your hot water unit and your ducted heater. As we mentioned earlier, the camper van has two solar panels fitted to the roof, and they're 170 watts each, which are visible at the moment. There's a window below on this side, the driver's side of the camper van, and then just below the Regal GT logo is the vent for the Truma diesel heater and hot water unit. There's also two water tank fillers. There's one here, and then there's one on the right hand side over there. When we do a darker van, we match up the air conditioner shell in black, and then it's difficult to see, but there is a roof hatch up there above the ensuite and toilet area, and the lid of that even goes black too. So it synchronizes all the colors on the exterior. You don't have anything white protruding off the roof. It's all black and blends in when it's a darker van. Obviously, when we do a white van, we go and match everything up to be white when possible. I've opened up the little compartment over here, and it'll reveal our external shower. So the external shower has a little holder there for the handle, and it's obviously got hot and cold water outlets built in. So you can wash off your dog, wash off your feet if you're at the beach, for example. Just below the external shower is a couple of water tanks. So they're lined in checker plate. The one at the front over here is 50 litres, and it's the grey water tank. And then the one at the rear is another 50 litre tank, but it's for fresh water. There's also another freshwater tank just in the center at the rear of the camper van, and that's 50 litres as well. So there's 100 litres of freshwater capability on board the camper van, and there's also a 50 litre grey water tank, which I mentioned. RGT stands for Regal Grand Tourer. So if anybody was wondering what RGT stands for, it is basically the name of the camper van. Just to the right of the outdoor shower is the cassette for the Thetford cassette toilet. Over here we have the 15 amp inlet for the camper van. So the good thing about this one is you can shut the lid and actually have the cord hanging from below. There's a circuit breaker just to the right of it as well. Now I've opened up the driver's side door, greeted with that nice Merc steering wheel. There's a display over here in the center, which will allow you to connect your phone, listen to the radio and so forth. Then there is even a screen up here that I mentioned earlier, which allows you to see basically rear vision while you're driving, as the camera that's fitted to the front and back of the vehicle won't actually come on while you're traveling at speed. So having this monitor, I think, is mandatory, so you can see behind you, especially when you're on the freeway and so forth. And obviously you've got a camera fitted to the front and rear of the vehicle too. So when you're parking, it'll display up here on the center console, and then when you're driving, you can look at your rear vision camera up there too. There's a little storage compartment in the center There's one over here on the right hand side, and then there's another over there in front of the passenger side as well. Button over here to go and open and close your electric sliding door if you have that option fitted to your camper van, for example, and climate controls just above there as well. We're now also including these insulated window covers for the driver, passenger, windshield, and rear 2 windows. So the whole pack's now included as part of our 2025 range. And the color of this particular Sprinter is selenite gray. Now we'll make our way inside the camper van now, and in the entry there's a grab handle. There's actually a grab handle over here on the left hand side as well. So you can grab both the right and left hand side when you're entering or exiting. There's a switch over here for the electric step to bring it in and out. Just above is a digital gauge for both fresh water tanks. So as I mentioned, the 2 fresh water tanks are 50 litres each, and you can monitor both levels over here at the water tank gauge. There's a power point just above. There's a few main switches for the camper van as well. The black switch cuts all 12 volt. There's a water pump switch, an exterior light switch, and some interior lighting as well. Over here on the left in the entry is a fire extinguisher. To the right on the opposite side is a little holster that we've started doing, which will actually house the table when it's not in use. So at the moment we've got it positioned in there, and it's held into place with this strap just behind the driver's seat. The Mercedes comes with swivel seats. So these seats rotate fully 180 degrees. In the case of the driver's seat, because there is a shower and toilet just behind it, this seat will go 90 degrees, essentially facing this way, but the passenger seat will rotate the full 180 degrees. So if you did want to have another person seated in the camper van at the front, facing the rear, you can by rotating the seat fully around. Just behind that driver's seat, we're going to put a magazine pouch on the wall over here, which is attached to the back of the shower toilet combo, which has a mirrored door, and I'll just go and open it up. That's the Thetford cassette toilet with ceramic bowl and lid that I mentioned earlier. There's a curtain to go over the bowl when you're having a shower so it doesn't get completely wet. There's a little medicine chest up here that's mirrored. Just above is a roof hatch that can extract air or bring air in, because it's got a few different fan speeds and modes, low and high, with the dial over there on the right. Then the dial over here on the left actually allows you to go and open and close the hatch. So you can go and lift it up, flick your fan on. It's on high at the moment. There's some lights built into it too. As we mentioned at the rear of the camper van, the camper is fitted with the black pack, so you can choose stainless or black. So this one's obviously got black pack fitted. The shower head, the tap, even the surround for the door is all in this matte black color. Now just above the shower door and ensuite door is a roof hatch. So this can open up and it's got a built-in LED. Now just beyond the roof hatch is a storage door, which is above the fridge. So this is a 152 litre fridge. It's a compressor fridge from Thetford, and we can also do a larger model, which is 175 litres, and it has a freezer drawer at the base, whereas this one has the freezer compartment at the top and then fridge section at the bottom. So we've got a couple of different models for fridge that we can use, dependent upon your individual requirements. Right of the compressor fridge is the double-doored wardrobe. Because we've got the slimline fridge, we go and put 2 doors in for the road. On the left over here are the insulated covers for the windscreen, driver, passenger window, and rear windows. They're just in the cases at the moment. There's a rail over here at the top for hanging space, obviously. There's an antenna point and 12-volt socket at the back over there, which will power the TV. And there's also a double power point back there as well. I'll go and close these up. And below you've got a couple of drawers. There's another drawer below. And at the base, because this particular camper van is gasless, we go and have a storage drop-down door put in because there's no gas bottles fitted to this particular camper van. Customers have the option to go either gas or gasless. As I mentioned, this camper van is gasless, so we go and incorporate an induction hob over here into the kitchen area. Below the induction hob is a dishless microwave, so it's not going to rattle or anything while you're driving. Below that is a cutlery drawer, so there's remotes and spare stuff all in here at the moment. And just below it is a pot drawer. Incorporated into the ceiling is this nice PVC design. So it actually continues, as I mentioned, at the rear of the camper van below the electric bed. So when the electric bed drops down, which we'll do in a moment, it'll reveal the continuation of the ceiling, and that material is used at the base of the bed too. In the overhead cupboard above the kitchen are a few components. On the left over here, there's a lift up storage door. All the manuals for the camper van and some spare parts are in there at the moment. Below is a drop down range hood. So it unclips like that, and then you can go and put it onto any of the 3 settings or power it off, and then when you don't want to look at it, you clip it back up away. Over here on the right is the Fusion stereo. So power it on. Oh, nice tune. But what you can do is you can go and elect which zone you would like volume to disperse out of. So zone 1 is exterior, zone 2 is interior, and then you can go and close them both off and then power it off like so. Just above the Fusion stereo is the inverter charger display from EnerDrive. So what is this? I've just powered it on. It's a 3000 watt inverter and a 100 amp battery charger combined into the one unit. So I've just powered it on and it's going through its startup cycle at the moment. And basically what the inverter is doing, because we're free camping and there's no mains power hooked up to the camper van, is converting the 12 volt power from the lithium batteries underneath the seat over there on the external in the external locker that we had a look at earlier when we were outside. So there's 400 amp hour worth of lithium. It's converting that lithium power, which is 12 volt, over to 240 volt through the inverter and distributing it to all of our power points. So the power point feeding the microwave, even the air conditioner on the roof is now being powered off the inverter if I choose to turn it on. So we'll use the microwave as a bit of an example, and we're powering a 240 volt appliance off the lithium batteries via the inverter, which is fitted on board the camper van. The reverse cycle air conditioner from Horton is even linked up to the inverter. So if I come and press this button over here, we're now powering our reverse cycle air conditioner that's mounted on the roof off our inverter that's fitted on board. And then once you've completed utilizing your 240 volt appliance off your inverter, you simply come over here to your display, hold the power button and power it off. And just above the inverter charger display, we go and fit the ePro battery monitor display. So this actually gives you a percentage read of your lithium batteries on board. So between those 200 amp hour lithiums, the both of them equating to 400 amp hour worth of lithium, we've got 99% charge at the moment. You can also go and monitor your voltage and even your amps by this display. So there's a shunt and it's linked up to the terminal of the lithium batteries, and it gives you a percentage read up here via the display. Around the corner, we've actually got the control panel for the lift up electric bed, and to the right of it, we've got the control panel for the diesel hot water unit and ducted heater. So if you power on the ducted heater, you'll have hot air coming out of the outlet over here, and then in turn, if you go and power on your hot water unit, you'll have hot water coming out of your sink and even your shower, for example. We're going to incorporate this nice square deep sink into the kitchen, and it's got a 3-way tap over here which disperses hot and cold water out of the first spout, and then the second spout will be filtered water. The filter is actually situated underneath the sink, just beyond the outlet over there. Now we'll make our way into the rear of the camper van, into the seating area, and on the wall over there in the corner is the 24-inch smart TV, and that's a 12-volt TV. On the wall we go and incorporate the seating area color vinyl onto the walls in the back area, so it blends in nicely with the seating. In both corners at the rear of the camper van are adjustable fans, a map reading light, double power point, USB-A and USB-C port. I've now fitted the table to the bracket at the rear over here, and this table is adjustable so you can maneuver it around to service the front of the seating area or even the rear, and even rotate it side to side. I've removed the table again in preparation to bring down the electric bed, and then I've also removed the TV from the bracket and I've put it up against the wall. The cushions can remain in the same place because they clear the electric bed, but before we go and lower it, I'll just show you below both couches, because there is a little bit of a storage area below here on both sides. So on the left there's more storage, on the right is actually where the inverter charger is installed, and there's the ePro battery monitor just beyond there, which gives us that relay of a battery percentage and voltage onto the display above the inverter charger display. But there is a little bit of a storage area below here too. And now we'll go back over to the overhead cupboard, because we can now lower our bed. So I'll hold down the button, wake the display up. There's also a smoke detector up here, which is a little battery operated one. And now we'll come over to our display, hold down the button, and our electric bed is dropping down. It'll rest on the couches, and it's as simple as that, lowering the bed. And then here's a shot of the electric bed all the way down from the rear. Now that concludes our walkthrough of our electric bed Regal Grand Tourer. To view our other models and pricing, you can go over to our rvsalesaus.com.au website, or alternatively, you can go over to our Regal rvs.com.au website to have a look at the floor plan drawings. But our pricing and further information regarding our other models can be viewed at both of those websites, or alternatively, you can give me a call on 0370 32 4908 to discuss this camper van or any of our other camper vans. We can even do this particular floor plan in all-wheel drive configuration. So if you're not interested in rear-wheel drive, we can order the Sprinter in all-wheel drive configuration. We can even order it in the higher GVM vehicle, which is the 5 Series. So we can order it in the rear-wheel drive 519, or alternatively, we can order it in the all-wheel drive 519 model as well. So we have quite a variety of different options available in terms of vehicle and interior components as well. So please feel free to give me a call to discuss our options further. Thank you very much for watching this video, and see you soon. Bye.